Hey guys, in this video, we're going to take a look at every LEGO War Machine minifigure that has ever been made, starting in 2013, going all the way up to the new 2024 minifig. It's pretty awesome how many War Machines LEGO has given us over the years, and I was just looking and thinking, man, we should do a video with all of them, so that's what we're going to do today. If you haven't already, be sure to hit like and subscribe down below, and let me know how many of these War Machines you have in your collection. Alright, let's get into it. Our very first War Machine minifig ever came out in 2013 for Iron Man 3. I gotta admit, over 10 years later, I think this figure has held up exceptionally well. This kind of engineered the backpack gun turret for him, if you will, and of course this used the old Iron Man helmet style. Underneath we got a brand new head for Rhodey with an angry face on one side, and a little bit more of a calm, collected face on the other. I always loved that he had toe and hip printing, and overall, I think this figure was great back in the day and is still pretty great now. Although we've gotten some better War Machines, as you'll see in just a moment. War Machine is a LEGO character that has several very rare variants, and this is the first one we'll take a look at today. This, of course, is his Iron Patriot look from Iron Man 3, and this was only available in a poly bag that was used to promote the original LEGO Marvel Superheroes video game. Now, this figure has aged super well. I think it still looks great, and it's definitely one of the tougher to get LEGO Marvel figures because of its exclusivity. If we lift the helmet up, you could see he uses the same Rhodey head that we just saw on that previous War Machine, but everything else on the figure is exclusive, with the toe and hip printing, the leg printing, and of course that great torso printing, and you'll see the 002 on there designating this is the second version of War Machine, although of course in the MCU we know him as the Iron Patriot. It'd be another several years before we got War Machine, and this one is also a rare one because he only came in the Captain America Civil War Airport Battle set. Of course, that means this is the Civil War version of War Machine, and I love this one. The black printing on it looks so great, and the red in the eyes with the black shadow around it looks so good. Then if we lift it up, that's kind of where it falls apart for me. They used this same head back in the day for War Machine as they did for Cyborg from DC. They were in the same sets at the same time, and I think it looks way too youthful for Don Cheadle, but aside from that, the rest of the figure is great. We got our first ever stud shooter on the back of a War Machine, and he came with this pole, which is like the little baton that he uses against Captain America for that one very short scene in Civil War. I want to let you guys know, my friend Brody and I designed a LEGO Kiss set, so we need all the support we can get from the Kiss Army. If you would click the link in the description of this video, you can support the set, and if we get enough supporters, LEGO will actually consider making it into a real set. So let's get those supporter numbers up, and thanks so much for that. It'd be another 2 years before we saw War Machine again in minifig form, and this is one of the rarest. This, of course, is the Mark IV version of War Machine, and this is the one that came in the LEGO Marvel Avengers Infinity War Bricktober pack in 2018. This was only available for a very limited time at Toys R Us. I never even saw one in person. They were very difficult to get, but if we lift it up, you could see he had a completely unique head, at least at the time, and he had a grin on one side with the HUD on the other. Then of course you could see he also was the first and to this point only War Machine ever to get arm printing. He's got the 004 on this arm, and so much great detail is packed into this figure that makes him super collectible by today's standards. The following year in 2019, we got debatably the worst War Machine minifig ever, and that is his quantum suit from Endgame. Now, pretty much every Avenger from the Endgame line of sets came with the same identical torso and legs for their quantum suit, but this did introduce a new head for Rhodey, or a new helmet for Rhodey, which is quite nice. The head is the same one that we just looked at on the previous version, so it was a nice figure as far as the helmet is concerned, but the rest left a lot to be desired. But he did have a stud shooter, and we'd only get one more War Machine with a stud shooter, which is what we'll look at next. In 2020, we got another War Machine. This one was just based off of the Avengers continuity, not really the MCU. So technically, this was our first comic book War Machine ever, and this one looks really great. He came in the big helicarrier set, which this was mainly one of the reasons people wanted to buy that set, because the set itself wasn't that great, but the minifig selection was pretty cool. The leg printing looks great, the torso printing looks great, but of course, he's got a backpack full of insane armory, like this repeater gun here, a stud shooter, shooter, and then these thrusters, which make the whole thing come together. Now, as you can see, he does shift to the new version of the Iron Man helmet, at least the one that debuted in 2020, but underneath, we do get that same old roadie head. So while the helmet isn't the best we've ever gotten, it is a unique variant and the only War Machine ever to use this style of Iron Man helmet. We wouldn't get our next War Machine until 2021, and this used yet another new version of the Iron Man helmet. This time, the helmet could open up again, and it gave us a new version of Rhodey's head underneath, where the HUD is no longer printed on the back, but we do get a nice face on the front. This would also be used in the $500 Avengers Tower, so it is a nice figure. Of course, you've got the great torso and leg print, but I gotta be honest, this helmet has never excited me. The face feels way too flat, and even though the contour and shaping on the main part of the helmet is nice, the faceplate just doesn't work, and I really think that the original versions of the helmets looked so much better and have just aged a lot better than this current version they're giving us, but it is what it is, and this is our most recent MCU version of War Machine. Finally, we have the 2024 War Machine from the War Machine Mech. Looks straight out of the animated shows and to some extent even the comic books. This looks so great with all of that great detailing on the back. It does use that same Rhodey head we just talked about, but it does come with a completely new helmet, and I have to admit, I think the helmet looks pretty good here compared to the most recent version that we just looked at. I don't know, the 2023 one is just taking the cake, and it is one of my favorite War Machine armors ever. However, the original Iron Patriot is absolutely my favorite. I love that one so much, but this is probably my second favorite, and it's kind of crazy because this one's one of the most expensive, and this one you can buy right now as of this video in a $15 mech set. So with that being said, let's wrap this video up and call it a day. Alright guys, if you haven't already, let me know how many of these War Machines you personally own, and be sure to hit like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I always appreciate your guys' support. I've got lots of LEGO Marvel videos coming to the channel soon, so don't miss out on those, and I'll see you guys on the next video.